Hey guys, it's James, and welcome back to segment 2, episode 1 of the My Ramblings podcast. This one's going to be a little different. Last one was a little bit about who I am, a little history. This one's more fun. I think it's more fun because we're going to be talking about two TV shows, both of which debuted during the coronavirus outbreak. The first one I'm going to review is Stargirl. The second one that I'll go over is Space Force. So I got to tell you, the reason I lumped these two together is because I really didn't have a lot of hope for Stargirl. I didn't think it was going to be something I'd enjoy. And as far as Space Force goes, I was afraid I wouldn't enjoy it. And the reason for that is I'm a huge Office fan. Like, literally, I think it's one of the best TV shows ever made. And Steve Carell is, of course, a huge part of that. So seeing him take on something, his first TV sitcom in a while, and in such a different role, I was worried. I was like, can he pull it off? Anyways, so let's talk about Stargirl. First off, those of you that listen to the All Things Geek podcast know that I'm a DC fanboy, but that doesn't mean I've read everything DC. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I know very little about Starman, about JSA, or about the character Stargirl herself. I literally went into it blind, did no extra research. I can tell you that it premiered on, what is it, the CW during the coronavirus. Yeah, teen drama web television series created by Jeff Johns. And it actually says it premiered on DC Universe. I've been watching it in the Arrowverse, actually, on the CW. So it's kind of weird. So maybe it's more on DC Universe, maybe not. From what I understand, DC Universe is getting kind of torn down and it's going off to like some new thing they're trying out sometime in the future. So, like Swamp Thing, for example, is now pending on the CW season 2. So I guess that didn't die. So that's good news. Okay, so to Stargirl. Stargirl's opening scene is a battle between the Justice Society of America and the Injustice Society of America. And yes, we do know how lame those names kind of sound modern day, and it's a running joke throughout the series about how poorly heroes and villains and just the overall identities were named. But I was very excited to see that Luke Wilson was in this, so that was pretty freaking awesome. It premiered on May 18th, 2020. It's 13 episodes. And that's about all I'm going to tell you. I mean, Breck Basinger, Courtney Williams, Stargirl, that's the only other main character that I concern myself with. And so let's get into that battle scene. It was amazing. It was probably one of the best comic book battles I've ever seen on television. It might have been the best battle sequence on television. It only lasted a couple of minutes. And it was by far the highlight of the entire show. If you ever listen to the Among Us podcast, we created an archetype, it's called the white boy character or the emo boy character. I really got an opinion early on that Courtney, who's Stargirl or will be Stargirl, was a emo whiny girl character. I thought, oh man, I'm not going to be able to watch this. I just don't know. But a couple of things pulled me back in. Okay. First thing was that Courtney thinks that she has some link biologically, and spoiler alert, guys, to the original Starman. His sidekick Stripes, played by Luke Wilson, who's also stepdad, says it's not possible. So right there, the story arc, this primary arc, but it kind of made me think, okay, well, I want to find out. Is Stargirl Starman's dad? The main indication that she is that her dad disappeared the same day Starman was killed, and all these years, 16 years, Luke Wilson or Stripes have been carrying around the comic staff, which is only supposed to work for Starman, and it works for her. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch another episode. Actually, I committed myself to watching 3. So we're going to go over the first 3. In episode 1, there was a cool scene with Wilson finding out he has a dad, which is kind of cool. He's a stepdad. And there's some funny, good music. It was quirky and funny, but it wasn't. I mean, it kind of felt like a young adult. It didn't feel like the Arrowverse, if that makes sense. But then the second episode went much darker. We've got Stripe making his appearance as a huge mecha robot, which was pretty cool. In this episode, also Brainwave, one of the Injustice Society members, manages to find out Courtney's identity and demands that she bring him the cosmic staff. There's a huge battle, and the only thing that I kept thinking was, did Brainwave get weaker, or is Stargirl more powerful with the staff? Because with the aid of Stripe, Pat, her stepdad, she takes out Brainwave. I told you there were spoilers. I'm sorry. And I was like, wow, this is pretty deep. I wonder if it's going to get any deeper. It was really funny because they bring up Gerald Ford and they're like, who does he play for? The kids have no concept of who Gerald Ford is. Made me wonder how many millennials have a similar problem. I think that the dichotomy of having this Gen X character and this millennial character, or whatever the new generation past millennials is, these younger people, these teenagers, it's a nice dichotomy to see how differently they relate in such a short period of time. How much has changed. One thing I didn't like necessarily is that flying comes like that to her, and it's not really flying. She's kind of riding the staff, which kind of gave me this witchy feel. I kind of feel like I didn't especially enjoy that particular aspect. The other thing is the staff calls to her to practice. This is early in the episode at one point, and then it flies her to the drive-in, and you get the impression that the staff is in control here. So my question is, why did it take her to the drive-in? So that was it. So we've got this really cool battle. Justice prevails, and it looks like there's hope that maybe Stargirl can avenge Justice Society of America going forward anyways. Okay, so I'm sorry. So I actually only reviewed 2. I will tell you, though, that I watched all the series up till now. And here's the thing. It gets much more dark. It becomes much more meaningful. There's characters that get lost very early in the series. And it really does make me think that this might be interesting. There's also what may be a cameo or maybe a transition from cameo to lead to a regular cast member of Luthor's son, which is blew my mind. He's playing, I won't tell you. I won't give you all the spoilers. I will tell you that where we left off so far, or at least the first 3 or 4 episodes, is Pat Stripes is reluctant to take on the Justice Society in fear of it destroying Stargirl's life and killing them all, as it did the JSA. And then, of course, Stargirl, Courtney, wants to recruit a new Flash, a new everyone. So we'll see how it goes. Wildcat, that was kind of cool. Hourman, I like Hourman. I didn't know Hourman was in the JSA, so that was kind of nice. Anyways, so then let's go on to Space Force, and I'll tell you straight up, 4-star General Nerd is not Michael Scott exactly, but Michael Scott is in there, and he comes out. It's some stellar moments. At the very beginning, he gets his 4th star, which makes him a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and he thinks is going to promote him to the head of the Air Force, which he's the 3-star general. And he's got this big speech prepared, and they're all doing this. Come on, time. Cut it, wrap it. Cuts off his speech. It's hilarious. That's a total Michael Scott moment. It turns out that he is not going to, this, and spoiler alert, he's not going to head up the Air Force. He's going to head up the newly created Space Force. POTUS wants boobs on the moon in 2024. And then they go, he meant boots. They don't say who POTUS is. I'm not getting political. Boobs on the moon by 2024. So they relocate the family to Colorado. He starts setting up Space Force, and his wife goes to jail. Don't understand that at all. His wife commits some felony when she finds out. She kind of has a nervous breakdown. Finds out they're moving to Colorado instead of to DC, where the other Joint Chiefs are housed in these nice homes with servants. He's got a teenage daughter. Her character is definitely like a whiny boy character, but a little more interesting. And so they go to Colorado, and we meet Dr. Mallory. Now, Dr. Mallory's a treat. Man, I didn't do any research on this. This is John Malkovich. Steve Carell and John Malkovich, I never would have imagined these two playing off of each other, but it works really well. There's also a really cool character named Yuri, but Bobby. He's a Russian spy, obviously, but everyone knows he's spies. It's kind of like this weird deal. And then he's got this guy, and okay, so this is not a children's podcast, but his name is Fuck Tony. Now, I don't know if that's really his name, but everyone, even to his face, calls him Fuck Tony in the first episode. And he is the cultural, he is a tweet advisor. So he makes a nerd who is an older gentleman, probably close to my age, and more socially relevant to the audience they're trying to capture to keep the funding up for this new Space Force today. He's also required, nerd, Steve Carell is required to do fundraising or recruiting type things, so he has to go to his own daughter's high school to do a recruitment speech. That was a literal mess, and it was just horrible. There's a funny scene with John Malkovich and Steve Carell where Donald Nerd says, when are you going to get over on me again about this $1,000 button numbers? It was ridiculous. I thought, and what it is Malkovich had wanted to wear these button covers, and he had said no, and then later on he kicks back and lifts his foot and launches a rocket. Wow, $5 billion gone, something like that. I don't know. So it was really, really, really interesting. The second episode, Yuri brings home Aaron from some party. So Aaron is his daughter that Yuri is trying to find a way into this high-level intelligence through the daughter. Also, the China Bufu, our satellite, which we successfully launched at episode 1. They literally just come in with like giant scissors, clip off the wings of our satellite. So of course we're going to have to figure out how to repair the satellite before it falls out of orbit. So ironically enough, we've got a space chimp. Okay, so the space chimp, it's kind of sad, right? So they talk about, and I don't know if this is true, but it sounds true, that it's too expensive to bring these animal explorers back from space. So they just launch them and they stay there. The space chimp has been like incognito for 2 weeks, and they're not sure if he still has treats or not. He's also with a space dog. But they said the chimp is more likely to understand the new programming to repair the satellite. Let me tell you, don't feel bad for the space chimp. The space chimp, what I would call a total butthole. And you'll see. You got to watch it. The space chimp alone makes it worthwhile. I will tell you. So that was in a nutshell what episode 2 is about, and it does a lot to bring together the bonding between the professor and the general, and Malkovich and Carell, respectively, and to get them to start trusting each other. Because the general has an natural distrust of lab coats, and the professor naturally thinks that he's I don't know, what do you call it? What is the word I'm looking for? I have no idea. Headstrong, macho, Neanderthal type. And the truth is, neither one are. His character, Steve Carell's character, when he's under stress, will break out in song alone and dance in his office. And it's so Michael Scott. Literally, it tugged at my heartstrings. But he's a really good, caring person. John Malkovich's character is not just an arrogant, self-absorbed prick. He's also a very caring, very deep character. And I'll tell you, I was only watched the 2, right? I binge watched all 10 of season one on one day. I couldn't stop. Is it The Office? No. But is it amazing? Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So we passed the 15-minute mark a little while ago, or we're about there now. I don't know, after editing, probably about 15 minutes. So I'm going to leave it there. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you did, please, down below, would you please hit the thumbs up and give us a like. Leave me a comment, please, about what you're watching on TV during this whole quarantine thing. And more importantly, what you'd like me to talk about next. By the way, there's a bonus third section. We'll be recording tomorrow, so look for that on YouTube then if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, and just stay tuned, there'll be a brief break. And when we come back, we're going to review Mindseed channel on the Mindseed channel on YouTube's first 2-hour movie. And one special guest. Special as in not just me. He's kind of special. Like, gotta be PC. Gotta remember, not to say things that come into my head. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I'll see you next time.